All right, y'all, we got this movie called Time to Hunt. Came out in 2020. Let's just get it. So you got these two dudes by the name of Ki and Chang. You know what I'm saying? They used to be robbers or whatever like that. But anyway, the point is, they end up getting in their car and going over to this jail. So why are they going to this jail? Because their friend June just got out. He did like a 3-year bid, and he's linking back up with his boys. So he was talking to this one dude in jail or whatever like that, and he's got this plan so he can be able to get off of this island that they own because the place they had is a complete shit show. And he wants to go to the islands and make a living for himself and all that other stuff. But the thing is, he needs $200,000, you know what I'm saying, to get this company started that's over there. And then, he'll be able to get there. The problem is the system's fucked up over there. They don't even take Korean money no more. The only thing they take is US dollars. Now, to equate whatever they have in US dollars is only about 2,000 or probably less than that. All the other assets they had, those Korean dollars, has been liquidated. You can't even use it. It's just a waste of time. So basically, they end up later going to this spot called the gambling house, right? Now, you think to yourself, why are they going to the gambling house? They end up picking up this dude by the name of Sekou who actually works there, right? But the thing is, he owes June some money or whatever like that. The thing is, he needs him to get like $10,000 within the span of 2 days. But Sekou was like, yo, that's impossible. This is going to take me like at least a month. So then June comes up with another idea. They're going to rob the gambling house. Now, why are they robbing the gambling house? Because banks are too hard to break into, and on top of that, the gambling house actually has US dollars in it. So there you go. But ain't nothing simple about this plan. Basically, they got to meet up with this dude by the name of Quan. Now, June knows Quan very well, whatever like that. And what does Quan have? Unlimited ammunition and weapons and guns. Now, they all got all types of random people that be gambling in there or whatnot. But the day before the robbery, we find some dudes in suits that are like laundering money or whatever like that. Got a feeling that's going to come back and bite them. So Sekou's there, the main man, to give him the layout and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The cameras, the safe, you know what I'm saying? People coming in and out, you know what I'm saying? What time they do this, certain spots, what the spots, where everything is in the building, all that shit. So now they park outside. It's time for the robbery. The thing is, they're going to go in from the rooftop and then come down, you know what I'm saying? Because the floor down next to it is the actual floor where they do the gambling or whatever like that. They bust in there, you know what I'm saying? They be like, hey, don't move, da-da-da-da-da. The one girl that's in the money room, you know what I'm saying, trips a silent alarm. Nobody even knows about it. And niggas is coming. Bottom line is they know they got 3 minutes to get the fuck up out of there. She gets them the cheese, they about to dip. So they go back off the rooftop, they go down, and all of a sudden their car gets surrounded. We like, oh shit. Guess they ain't know about that silent alarm, huh? So they go off the rooftop in no way, give the niggas a run around, get back to their car, and then they dip out. So they think they got off scot-free, right? Now all of a sudden, we got some dude by the name of Hans. He just bangs off on one of these dudes. Then just tosses him in this hole where we find there's nothing but a bunch of dead bodies in the hole in this fucking warehouse. We're like, what the hell? Probably the guys that was chasing after our 4 guys. So Hans is talking to some higher ups or whatever like that. And bottom line is, of course, they're going to try to find a way to get the money back. But the thing is, that's not even the most important thing. The important thing is that the boys Chang took the security camera footage. Now, what's on that footage? A lot of money laundering for a lot of different people, a lot of different crime organizations. We're like, oh, shit. So I don't know how Hans gets this information, but Hans ends up going to Quan's spot. He doesn't tell Quan nothing. Guess what? He gets all this crew done deal deady shit. Now, earlier in the movie, Ki and Chang ends up taking June back to the old spot or whatever like that. Everything is like condemned, you know what I mean? It's just like burned. Like, it looks like a fucking burned wasteland. And the one spot he had was completely destroyed. The only person he had in his life was his mom, who died while he was in prison. Chang doesn't have any family members. And when it comes to Ki, I'll explain him in a minute. So now all 3 of our guys, including Sekou, is back at this one spot. Now, Sekou is going to go act like nothing happened, you know what I'm saying? Because, he's got to keep up his personal shifts and stuff like that. They tell him to be careful, and then they dip out. Our 3 guys end up going to Ki's parents' house. Yeah, that's right. He still has his mom and dad. Thing is, he haven't seen him in like 2 years. They getting some downtime. They over by this Blue Sea spot. While they over at the spot, June ends up picking up his phone, right? And ends up being Quan. Turns out Quan's not really dead yet, but he doesn't sound like he's won't be alive much longer or whatever like that. So June starts picking up messages he's picking up signs or whatever. He's like, shit. Ki and Chang don't know what's going on, but June's like, yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Then we get the scene where Sekou's going to work or whatever like that, right? But he's feeling kind of nervous about being at work. And then all of a sudden he gets into his locker room, and then like everybody's setting themselves up to be for work. But then they got like 2 people walking behind him. So they end up walking behind. He ends up going over to like the restroom or whatever. He's like, where you going? To the restroom. So once he gets in the restroom, he's scared as fuck. He ends up dipping out the restroom. He starts bawling, hauling ass or whatever like that. So now the jig is up. They finally figured that out. He ends up running all the way back to his spot, you know what I'm saying, spot where he hid his take of the money or whatever like that. He's about to get a gun, you know what I'm saying? He goes out, he's about to go around the other side of the door. Then, holy shit, in the background, Hans just sitting in a fucking chair. I'm like, yo, Sekou's done deal dead as shit. Then we see June, he's thinking about how he was having fun with everybody. Then he has this, he sees like Sekou that had been shot in his chest or whatever like that. That deal shit, just all fucked up, whatever like that. Turns out he was just having a dream. Or basically a nightmare, because that's exactly what it looked like. So June ends up going to the bar downstairs, right? And then he's trying to make a call to Seiko, who's not picking up the phone. And then he gets a call back from Seiko. And then all of a sudden he keeps hearing the phone ring, right? But he's hearing the phone ring inside the bar. And there's nobody in the bar except him. And then he sees like the shadowy figure in the background. We're like, oh shit, that's gotta be Hans, yo. So he goes back to the spot to get Ki and Chang. He's like, yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you got to get the money. He was like, yo, where the guns at? He was like, yo, the guns in the trunk. He was like, oh shit, we gotta get back to the fucking car. Parking lot scene. So they get to the car, they get the guns, they get inside the car, whatever. They try to start the car up, but apparently the car was rigged. We're like, oh shit, he already got to the car. So basically they got to break into this Jeep. But I thought they break into this Jeep, right? They get into it, they start driving around, whatever, like that, trying to find the exit. All of a sudden, they get to this one part, and Hans is standing in the middle of the fucking joint. We're like, what the fuck? They start speeding, Hans starts blasting through the windows or whatever, like that, ends up hitting Chang. They crash to a bunch of cars, they all the way fucked up. Ki's knocked out in the back of the seat, Chang's all messed up, and Hans is pulling June out the car. So you think to yourself, oh, they about to be done deal, dead as shit. But for some reason, he just decides not to shoot him, and he's like, he wants to give him a 5-minute head start. So I guess Hans feel like this will be a challenge to him, like, you know what I'm saying? He wants to see their ingenuity or whatever, or he basically just wants to hunt, you know, be the predator and hunt for his prey or some shit like that. But he ends up letting him get away because he knows he could find him. But here's my thing. If you called Kwan's phone and felt like something was wrong, if you called Seiku's phone and felt like something was wrong, don't you think he's tracking you through the fucking phone? Like, get rid of this shit. What are you doing? So basically, they get up out of there, you know what I'm saying? Ki ends up waking up, you know what I mean? But they try to get Chang to a hospital or whatever like that. They get him to a hospital, try to get him all treated up, whatever like that. But now they stand at the hospital. So it's dark as hell. June's having another nightmare. He pops up and he ends up looking out the window. Guess who he sees out the window? Fucking Hans. So he wakes everybody up. He's like, nigga, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. The problem is with Chang, you know what I'm saying? He's not 100%. The hospital scene was crazy, you know what I'm saying? You gotta watch it to see how the fuck they got out. But you know what I mean? It's nuts. But he tricked Hans into a way where they ended up taking his car or whatever, right? So they start flickering with the lights and going through the car or whatever like that. Turns out it's a fucking police car. We're like, wait a minute, is Hans a cop? So Hans ends up calling June, you know what I'm saying? And he just likes to chase at this point, you know what I'm saying? He's just fucking with him. He says he's not even after him for the money or even the security footage anymore. He's just after him just because he enjoys the thrill of it. It's like, what the fuck? So June's got this one of a spot they could go or whatever like that. It's like this abandoned apartment building place, you know what I'm saying? But it's by this area where he talks to this one dude, whatever like that. He says he's going to have a boat for him. The only problem is the boat's not going to get there until the next morning. So they hide in this apartment complex that has like security codes on the doors and whatnot. So while Chang is asleep, Ki is talking to June and he tells him, he's like, look, man, I ain't going to be able to go with you, yo. Because he's scared this nigga Hans might figure out some stuff and then come back after his parents or whatever. So he tells him to see him when he get there and whatnot, right? So he says he's basically going to dip off in the morning, right? The thing is, Hans never was able to leave the hospital because police came, they ended up arresting him or whatever like that. But then like some general managers or something like that called some of the police officers and they tell him to let Hans go. I'm like, what kind of pull does he have over the police? And then we have Kwan's funeral and then we find out Kwan has a twin brother and he knows who killed him. He knows it's Hans that killed him. So blah is they out for all else war against Han. And he says, yeah, when you find out, I'm going to kill that motherfucker myself. So the next morning, Ki tries to use his phone, but his phone's not working. He ends up using Chan's phone, right? So he's trying to call his parents. So we get the scene, we see his parents coming home from shopping or whatever like that. All these gangsters is all sitting at his house. We're like, oh shit. So when Ki is talking to his mom to make sure she's all right, she's like, yo, just have fun on your trip. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself. Like she's trying to push him away because it's like he's trying to figure it out on the other end. He's like, oh shit. But I'm thinking to myself, what are you going to do if the gangsters decide to done deal your whole family? You just going to go ahead and get done deal too? He ends up seeing June, giving him a hug, telling him basically, you know, he's about to go out because that's what he said that he was going to do anyway. But they don't know that his peoples is in danger, right? So Ki is about to head out and he's out. So now it's just June and Chang. So June, later on, having a nightmare or whatever like that, he finds out Chang is gone. We're like, where the fuck is Chang at? He can't find Chang, and then slowly he starts finding out like, oh shit, Hans is in the area. He's here somewhere. We're like, what the fuck? Then the apartment scene, that was fucking nuts. Bottom line, it ends up becoming a 2-on-1. They're outside the apartment scene, and then it's, you know what I'm saying, it's guns on, guns blazing. A valiant effort, but Chang ends up dying or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? June's pissed off. But then June ends up getting hit badly or whatever like that. And right when Hans is about to finish him, all of a sudden, lights pop on. It's Kwan's twin brother and his other niggas. And basically, they about to try to end Hans. You know what I'm saying? Then it becomes a gunfight. Hans is going back and forth, going crazy, whatever like that. But they didn't get hit too many times. Then they end up shooting him over a fucking bridge. So it's like Hans is done deal dead as shit, right? June the next day ends up making it on the boat and getting to this other island. He must have been on this island for a couple of years. You can see how old, a bunch of older he got. He's been keeping up with his gun skills and all this other stuff. Then he's talking to this other dude by the name of Tai Chi, and he asks him about a certain somebody that's still alive. So apparently, Tai Chi said that Hans is apparently still alive, but that's not even his real name. He goes by Lee San or something like that, but they're not even sure that's his real name either. Bottom line is, to us, he's Hans. So as Tai Chi is driving off with his driver, he's thinking to himself, like, I wonder why he didn't ask about his other friend. He was like, who? Talking about Ki. So we basically don't know whether he's alive or not, or his parents are alive or not. We don't know. So while Jim's been practicing on his gun work or whatever like that, we get this scene while he's working in a bike shop, right? And then he ends up turning around here in the door, and we're like, oh shit, is that Ki? He's having this long little conversation, but it turns out he wasn't having a conversation with him. He was just still cleaning his bike. We're like, oh. So it's been a bunch of years. The thing is, he still can't sleep. He's always having dreams and nightmares about Hans. So the thing is, now he's going to get off the island and go back to the city because he needs to hunt him down. It's time to figure out whether he's still alive or not, or he wants to done deal him or not. And that's the end of the movie. I'm like, what? So obviously we know Chang died, but the thing is, whatever happened to Ki and his parents? We don't know. Last scene we see is him getting on the boat, going back to the city, looking like he about to bang off on niggas. And that's how the movie ended. All in all, it's a wild ass shit. The fight scenes are so dark and terrifying, yo, it's crazy. Like, it feels like the whole world is like a dark utopia or whatever. Time to Hunt on Netflix. Check it out.